Market crashes shouldn't crash your retirement. Here's how the wealthy protect their income, no matter what the market does. Nearly 90% of retirees who follow a bucket strategy say they feel less stressed during market downturns. It's not about guessing the market, it's about preparing for it.
Today's episode is brought to you by Security Financial Management.
Welcome back to Best Advice Podcast, guys. I'm your host, Rob Lavalio, here with managing partner, Michael Allen. Mike, what's cracking, baby?
Not much, man. Just keeping
Another
busy
day.
and
Yes, sir.
and living the summer with my family.
What'd you do this weekend? I saw you were on the farm, weren't you?
Yes. We took a trip to Missouri. That's where my wife, Susan, is from.
Okay.
She grew up in the farm.
Yeah.
And it used to be just a dairy farm, and then they would do grain on the side. And
Very different than what we're used to over here.
Definitely. Her brothers are managing the farm now by themselves,
so
the dairy got to be a little much.
Okay.
Because that's 2 times a day.
So, like, what do you do all day? Yeah, you go out on the farm, and like, what was the vibe over there?
Yeah, what they do is they work a lot with the grain.
Okay.
They do a lot of the bean harvesting and the corn, and right now they're getting it ready for harvest in a couple months.
Wow.
So
It's
it's amazing.
world,
It's like we're there and we're driving down the road on, say, Friday, and the corn is a certain height. Then 2 days later, it looks like it's grown like a foot. It's amazing how the corn grows. But going out there is amazing to me. And
interesting.
my brother-in-law, Wayne, he has a friend, Steve, who is a minimalist.
Okay.
He grew up with him.
Yeah.
They went to school together.
And what is a minimalist? They just like don't own anything?
He owns stuff, but he doesn't, he's like, I don't want to own a lot.
Okay.
He's got his house. He's got like 30 acres in the country. And
that's a lot.
he raises his own cattle, he grows his own food.
Interesting.
He gives it away if needed. He does have a job otherwise, but he doesn't have he doesn't have any internet. Amazing.
What?
Doesn't have a cell phone. Doesn't have a computer. Doesn't have a phone or a TV or any of that stuff.
Does he seem less nervous or less does he seem more calm than?
Well, I never knew him before, but he seems pretty calm.
Yeah.
And he's just a really nice guy who wants to keep life simple.
That's very cool.
And one of the things he raises his cattle. He's got like 9 head of cattle.
Yeah.
And he asked Wayne if he could use his truck and trailer to take them to auction. And Wayne's like, yeah, sure. So he comes over and grabs it. He obviously didn't call him. He went over there and asked him for it. Yeah. So Wayne let him use it. So he drove off and took it. Then Wayne's like talking to his other brother, Teddy, saying, gosh, Steve probably will need some help getting the cattle onto the trailer and telling him how to do all that. And he was a little concerned about that. And I was like, Wayne, I'd love to do that with you. So I volunteered, and Wayne called me. It's a great opportunity for Wayne and I to have some windshield time together.
Yeah. I like that windshield time.
So it was neat to do it. So Wayne texted me in like Saturday morning and said, hey, Mike, if you want to come down, I'm going to leave in about a half hour. So I went with him. And so we go there, and fortunately, Steve had all the hard part is rounding them up and putting them in a pen.
Yeah.
But Steve knows them all. The cattle know him. Yeah. So he was able to at least get him in the pen. But getting him on the truck is or on the trailer is a different story.
I can't imagine you doing this. This is wild. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm there with my tennis shoes. I don't have my farm and work boots on and everything. And I'm such a city slicker, but it's fun to go out there. So Wayne's like, okay, Mike, we're going to get in the pen and move the cattle to the trailer.
Okay.
And he's like, here, Mike, also you stand outside. Yeah. Don't put your life at risk, because it could, if they knock against those rails, they could fall over. They're heavy, not to them, but they're heavy to you and me.
Yeah.
So be careful. But if they try to push them back, if they start jumping on the fence, trying to get out.
Okay. Wow.
So
there's a lot to that, huh?
There is.
Yeah.
And also behind me is like, there's a hot wire, the electric fence. And I'm like, hey, Steve, is this thing live? He's like, oh yeah. And I touched one of those things, and it jolts.
Did you touch it?
Not this one, I didn't. But a couple months ago, I touched one. And it's like,
I don't know if I'd do well.
Well, so I was glad, because the thing is, there was another wire that Steve said, oh, that one's not hot. And I'm glad I asked the question, because I was like this close backing into this thing. I was, hey, is this hot, by the way, guys? They go, yep, it's hot.
Yeah.
So I got to remember that.
Yeah.
And so they start moving the cattle in.
Okay.
And they keep turning around.
Yeah.
And Wayne's like,
so what do you do then?
So then Wayne's the professional. Wayne does this stuff all the time. And he's like, hey, let's move the panels in, the gates.
Okay.
Let's move them in and make it a chute where they won't be able to turn around.
They have to go for it.
Yeah. They don't have to wonder. The cows don't wonder. They're not worried. They say, this is where my guy wants me to go.
It reminds me of getting on the airplane when you're in the little tunnel, like you can't go back. You're going right in that airplane, you're going right to your seat. I feel like such a cow when I'm when I'm getting on the plane. I'm
exactly. And in my mind, I'm in the financial planning world, makes me think about the plan. Yeah. It helps people. It guides you. It puts a process in place with investments, the general financial planning, where, if you question things and you don't have a plan, you're scattered.
Yes.
Well, these cows, cows and bulls, there's a difference. They know where they're supposed to go because they're telling them that's where they need to go.
Here sometimes talking about like railings up your financial plan. You got to have the railings,
guardrails.
The guardrails. Yeah.
So, anyways, it worked.
Yeah.
They moved them in, shut the gate, and Steve took them to auction. He didn't call Wayne or email him or text him telling him it was okay. But the next day, the truck and the trailer were back at Wayne's house or the farm. So we knew hopefully he was probably successful.
Yeah.
So we got 6 on the trailer.
What an experience, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, and I love doing that. It's nice going out to the farm.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure I've always wanted to do like a month of no phone, no internet, let's just let the mind rest for a little bit.
Yeah, take a little time off.
Yeah, which is it's cool to see people actually do that.
Yeah,
living like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the question of the day. Today's question comes from Ethan from Key West. Ethan, what you got for us?
I admit I run a little nervous, and my advisor always says just ride out the market downturn. But honestly, that's never made me feel safe. Are there actual strategies out there that do more than tell you just to wait it out?
Thank you, Ethan. And great question. You're definitely not alone in feeling that way. So here's the deal. When your advisor says things like ride out the market, these are based on historical data. So the S&P 500 has averaged about 10% per year since 1926. And even in the last decade, despite the ups and the downs, despite the volatility, it's delivered us around 12% annually. That is only if you've reinvested those dividends. So these are the stats why your advisor may seem a little calmer when the market's down than the average Joe like me or you. And that's because they've studied the market a lot longer than us. They understand the market returns historically a lot more than me or you. So let's get to the expert here and get some insight.
Without getting too technical with it, I think your advisor is right with talking about riding it out. Because for one, you don't want to try to time the market. You don't want to try to get out of the market when things are rough. You don't really want to stop your game plan, especially if you're investing, if you're in the growth stage of your life, the gathering stage, where you want to take advantage of the lows in the market. Also, as far as timing it goes, if you get out of the market, there's studies that show if you get out of the market and you miss the rebounds, it's never good. It affects your long-term health of your plan to do that. Your advisor probably has more of a plan that he could tell you about. I like in our financial planning with our clients, we have different areas that we have. We have like fixed income. And the fixed income could be bonds. It could be an annuity where you have consistent income coming from that. It could be having money in cash. And we always recommend having money in cash where you can have a buffer. And then you also have your equity portfolio. And again, there could be could be a managed portfolio. It depends on your life, where a managed, balanced, moderate portfolio, either way, depending on your risk tolerance. Could be aggressive too. An example I have with some clients just recently when the market took a downturn, I had 2 or 3 clients that just have a ton of money in cash, but they're like, you know what, it makes us feel better to keep that good buffer. So we want a consistent distribution coming out from our portfolio monthly. So we were doing that. And then when the market took a downturn, I'm like kind of going through my list of clients that don't necessarily need to take the money from their portfolio. And I called them and I said, hey guys, let's just put a pause on the monthly distributions for right now and live off the cash. That gives the portfolio time to rebound. and we can reevaluate later. And again, if they have a fixed amount coming from an annuity where that's not going to change with the markets, keep that going, obviously. And it worked out real well. Unfortunately, things pop back up and we start the income back for those clients and things are going smoothly. But it all has to do with your behavior and the way you feel. And what we do is we coach our clients a lot. And especially during rough times, we bring up that financial plan and say, okay, how are we doing? Even though things are tough right now, let's look at our plan, your plan together. We collaborate and work through it.
Absolutely. There's so many puzzle pieces and I'm not in it day to day, but I just see the strategies and hear it in the office where X plus Y equals this strategy, Y plus 2 divided by S equals this strategy. Just so many puzzle pieces that have to be lined up, and it's depending on where you're at right now.
Right, and it's like going back to the farm.
Yeah.
Going back to the farm, working with cattle, giving them direction, and helping them, guide them to where they need to go. Having a professional working with somebody like Steve. Steve knows a lot. He's a good guy. He knows general farming, but he found a professional in Wayne, my brother-in-law, to help him guide those cattle where they needed to go.
Meaning if you run nervous, maybe don't put 100% of your liquidity in one bucket. Let's just say you had $600K. Instead of throwing $600K in growth investments, maybe put $100K in cash. Maybe put $200K in bonds. And then keep that other $400K in stocks for long-term growth. Our advisors will tell you this could provide stability if the market happened to take right as you entered retirement, giving you the flexibility if you wanted to pull from those cash or bond buckets for those first couple of years in early retirement.
Structure to the game plan, and it helped a lot. So I'm not saying people are cattle, but at the same time, we all have our behaviors that make us kind of freak out in certain times.
Yeah.
And if we don't have a game plan, like guardrails in life. I mean, you were in sports, same thing, right?
Yeah.
You have the plays that you guys have. It kind of brings you back in. Let's go back to the basics.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Very cool. So you're kind of able to pick and choose the bucket you're pulling from, right? So based on how the market was doing or how the market is doing right now, or what makes the most sense for your clients at that specific time, you're able to kind of pick and choose when to grab out of what bucket.
Right.
Beautiful.
And again, have a coach who's there to guide you.
Beautiful. Well, I hope that helps, Ethan. If you want to speak to Mike or any of our advisors here at Security Financial Management, we're going to leave a link in the description. And remember, folks, the secret to wealth is not what you earn, it's what you keep. Happy days, everybody.
Take care.
This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only and is not intended as personal financial advice. Before making any financial decision, please do your own research and consult a financial advisor as needed.